Jeffrey Gardzina, and we came here a year and a half ago, January 1st, as volunteers for the Work Camper program. So the previous director of plant services implemented a Work Camper program to supplement the lack of labor, to bring in volunteers so they could help out the school, but he could stay within his working budget. And that's how we came. Is my wife and I had retired, and we decided to come here and volunteer for a couple months. And at which time we ended up leaving in April, and the previous director asked if we could come back. So we ended up coming back a year ago, this week actually. We came back in mid-September and started volunteer work here. In October I came on as a maintenance tech for NTCC. January 1st, 2024 is when we arrived here, and at that time there was, I believe, 8 work campers. There's 8 sites, and I believe they were all full. And so in that program you volunteer 16 hours a week, and you get your free site. With that, you can volunteer in multiple departments. My wife and I volunteered in the maintenance department. And one of the major projects we were able to do is to go throughout the buildings and put in security locks for safer classrooms and offices for situations that they needed to be locked down. So we had other volunteers in that program that worked over in ag, and they took care of livestock and helped out in the farm over there. We've had other ones help with cosmetology. So the program is a really unique program where you come in, and every single one of them is mandatory to do 16 hours, but the group that comes in and helps out with that, we get more hours. They put in more hours than necessary, which is a great thing. So being a part of that program and being able to continue that program to the college has been a great asset to the college, but also rewarding as somebody that's leading it now in Wisconsin. This is the first time I've ever worked in an educational field, where prior I was in the private corporate sector. So there's definitely different dynamics from students to faculty to staff. And so being able to understand the different personalities, for lack of a better term, and being able to provide services that meet their needs versus in the corporate world where it was kind of, we have timelines, let's get it done, versus here it's more of a quality issue, like let's make sure the students get the best for what we can do for them. So being able to work with the faculty and just to make sure the students have the best atmosphere possible. So one big change is we have a new president, which is a great change. He brings a lot of enthusiasm and clarity to all of us. And so seeing that, and also the student growth, we're still kind of in this post-COVID state where a lot of things were done online, and now we're seeing a lot more students come back to campus and do less online work. So in the numbers that we're seeing, the actual bodies on campus is going up. So that's where we see a lot of big changes. We're seeing a lot of areas where we can serve the student body in a better way. Well, the one unique thing about being the director of plant services is we kind of have our hand behind the scenes and everything. So one of the things that I've come to learn in the year that I've been here is that coming from the corporate private sector into the educational sector, there's sometimes was a lack of service, where people kind of lost track of what our department does. So I was very happy to be able to turn around and look at it more as all staff, faculty, and students are guests at this resort per se. And so being able to bring back a more service-oriented department and let people feel that we're able to provide a good service at a more convenient pace than what was in the past. I'd have to say the joy that goes around here. So there's a unique feeling at NTCC of family, and whether it's faculty, staff, or even students, that the joy here is definitely overwhelming. It's a good thing. People are happy to be here. People go above and beyond. So I would have to say that the feeling of joy around here is just, intoxicating. I do. When we first arrived here as volunteers, work campers, one of the first jobs we did was work at the rodeo clubhouse and repairing some water leaks down there. And in doing so, we ended up meeting a young rodeo student named Howard, and ended up developing a good friendship with him. And he's actually one of the reasons why we ended up coming back. Not only did the previous director call us, but last year was his sophomore year, and he asked if we were going to come back, and kind of pushed us like, hey, can you come back? And so developing that personal relationship while living on campus with the students and the rodeo team has become definitely eye-opening and rewarding.